Heyo, what's up guys and girls, it's Sheik here with another Minecraft video, more specifically TechLoaded. Yeah, that's right guys and girls, you heard right, TechLoaded. And no, I haven't suddenly stopped Feed the Beast and swapped back to the Technic pack or anything like that. This is still Feed the Beast. However, over the past few days as I've been sitting there playing Feed the Beast, I was thinking about it and I realized there was really no reason to rename it to separately Feed the Beast in the first place, because TechLoaded wasn't specifically to do with Technic itself. It was just because, it was a pack that had a whole heap of technical mods. All the kind of stuff that you would do in game was sort of technical related, and that's why I called it TechLoaded. And Feed the Beast, it's pretty much the same thing, just now there's, I guess, Thorncraft in it, and so there's kind of magic, which Technic had as well in equivalent exchange. So I think I'm going to go back to the name TechLoaded. That's sort of like what my channel was built around, and that's sort of the name that I associate with my channel and my brand. So I want to go back to that name because this is realistically pretty much the same thing, just with a couple of changes in mods. So it's almost as if I was just using a different version of the Technic pack. So without further ado, let's get into, well, I guess it's episode 4 of season 4 now we're on, because we had so many world resets of the TechLoaded LP. So sorry about the long absence again guys, but I hit another exam period, but there's a while to go before exams again. And I'm really excited to show you this little, this sort of like a proof of concept kind of deal I got here with some computers for the storage system. If you were following me on Twitter, before my break I made a tweet saying that there was something I was really excited to show you, and this is what it was. So the whole idea was I took inspiration from, if you've seen Good's storage system, it's sort of a similar idea to that, except not as awesome. This isn't going to track every single item in that. I just feel like I don't have the programming capabilities to do that. I have no programming skills, so all of this that I've done here was just done with experimentation and research, and I spent hours on this. That's why I was so happy when I got it done. It's got that real sense of accomplishment of really achieving something. So here I got 2 example chests. I've got one with cobble in it. Might just take that out. And I've got one with dirt. I've got barrels with dirt up here. And the whole concept of this is I'll have my storage system under my house or whatever, and there'll be barrels with all the items in it, and then there'll be one miscellaneous chest, I guess, because you're not going to have a barrel for every single item in the game. And what I'm going to do is I want to have the ability to access my storage system from anywhere, and this is where this comes in. So I can have these little ports set up with an end chest, a computer, and an ender chest, just set up all around the world, wherever it is I might be building. And then I can run something like give cobble 10. And we wait a sec, and it didn't work. Oh, okay, this is why it didn't work. Okay, let's try that again. False start already. There's always mistakes when recording. Your mind turns to a fuzz. It happens to every LPR. Give cobble 10. Boom. Now you can see this is connected to nothing. Just prove that. You saw me put the ender chest down here as well anyway in the first place. So it's just transported to the ender system. So what happened was, when I ran this give program, it sent the data cobble 10 over to this computer, which was running the receive program. And then it told this interactive sorter to suck out 10 of the items from this chest and then eject them this way, and they get piped down into the ender chest and over here. Now you'll notice that none of the dirt moved. So again, if I do give cobble 10, 10 cobble will wind up over here, but no dirt moved. Now, whoops, if I was to write give dirt 10, there's still only 10 cobble in here. But now, oh, again, second false start. Give dirt 10, still 10 in here. And now there's 10 over here. So that's just a really awesome thing, and it took me ages to program this, but I'm really happy with how it came out. And it's a really fun little sort of almost teleportation wireless access system to your storage. Now I'll show you these programs, I guess. Now my explanations might not be that great because, like I said, I'm not a programmer, so it might be really messy. So open RedNet open. The RedNet is sort of like Wi-Fi basically. It's wireless internet of the computercraft world. And this is like a modem that you have at your home so you can use your iPod or whatever, your mobile device with your Wi-Fi. And this allows it to access the RedNet's data. So this RedNet open left means that it's activating the modem on the left side of the computer. So that's pretty straightforward. Now this little line here, I believe that stands for arguments, but I'm not sure. It's like a table. So everything that I type after give goes into that table there that I listed. So if I type cobble, that's the first entry in the table. If I put a space, it moves to the second entry. 1, that's the second entry. If I put space and type like tree, that would be a third entry, but we don't have a third entry. So that's what this table does. Now send text utils serialize this. So this is sort of compressing down and compacting the table. That's the way I understand it and the way I explain it. So in my mind, I picture it like, you know, a zip file or a RAR file on your computer, where you get all your files, you compress them down, zip them up, and then you send them to a friend over email or whatever. So this takes my data, my Cobble 10 data, wraps it all up and sends it over the RedNet, say broadcast. So it sends it to every RedNet computer available. Now, this is something I still haven't experimented with, but I'll do that later on. I think I'll have to set this to RedNet send and then list every individual computer so that it's not contacting other people's computers, because then other computers will just be like, hello, what the heck? And broadcast only works within a certain range. So I'll have to change that to send, but that's something for later down the line. Now, the receive program. There's 2 versions of this. This first one that I did is the original. Oops, I don't want to run it again. I want to edit it. This first program here it was incomplete in a sense. So what it does is, again, it opens the RedNet, and now P equals peripheral. All these things, when I'm doing like P equals A equals, it's just crap. I can't think of the word, but just think of it algebra, where it's just a pronumeral. So you have like let x equal 5, and then you sub it into the equation y equals x plus 5. So your answer is y equals 10 because it's 5 plus 5. It's basically what you're doing here. You're saying that this line equals P. So wherever I write P in the program, it's going to think that I actually wrote this. And the peripheral top is the interactive sorter. You can see basically it's on top of the computer. That's really all there is to it. Now this is a while loop. So while the data is true, it's just going to keep running this over and over. And because there's nothing here making it false, it runs forever. That's why you saw me when I typed, when I started up, it just kept running. Even after I took dirt, it just kept running because there was nothing telling it to stop. So it just continued to run and run and run because it was always true. So what this here is now is receiving a message over the RedNet system. And it's taking the information. Where am I? Yeah, okay, it's taking the information and the ID and the message, and I forget what D is. But it's basically, it's splitting up the RedNet message, because when a computer sends a message over RedNet, it sends the ID of the computer, what the message was, and something else, I think some rubbish. Yeah. So there's 3 things it sends. But we only want this message bit. So I'm going to do A equals text utils unserialized message, because we don't want the ID or D, we just want the information that was in the table. So unserialized is basically the opposite of serialized. It's unpacking the RAR file or unpacking the zip file. And now X equals to string A1. So string is like a series of words. So like, you know, cobble, that's a string. So it's taking it out of position 1 on the table. Like I explained to you before, what I write after give is position 1. So the word cobble or dirt or tree or pie or chicken or whatever it is I choose to use is position 1. So it takes that out of the table and it marks it as X. Now Y is position 2. So it's just the number. So 10, 20, 64, however many items I choose to ask. And it makes it Y. Now, if X equals cobble, then this computer is going to activate. So it's going to start listening. Then extract from the direction 5 to the direction 4. Okay, I can't remember. I'm sorry guys, off the top of my head, but if you do a quick search on the forums, it'll tell you what it is. This is to do with directly with interactive sorter. This is a command for the interactive sorter. So it's telling it to extract something from direction 5, because the interactive sorter doesn't use up, down, left, right. Let me just set the time. Whoops. It doesn't want me to do it. There we go. Okay, so it's taking it from direction 5. So 1 is top, 0 is bottom, and then 4, 5, 6 is one of each face. I can't remember which way it goes. So it's taking it from one direction and it's sucking it and throwing it out the other side. I can't remember what this 4 was, so I apologize for that. But this Y is the number that I said here, so 10. So it's going to suck 10 of whatever out and send it along. Now this is the reason that it doesn't suck out dirt when I say to suck out cobble, because the dirt computer does not say cobble. The dirt computer says something else. And I'm sorry if you can hear people talking in the background. I apologize for that. My grandparents just came down. So you can see here, if x equals dirt, then it's going to do its command. But this, you can see, has some extra commands. It has y is less than or equal to 64 and y is greater than or equal to 64. Now here's the reason for that. This whole thing works with chests, but there's some glitches with the interactive sorter and barrels and all that stuff. I'm not sure if it's a bug or if that's how it's meant to be. Like say for example, you can see this pipe here. The reason for that is if the chest was right next to the interactive sorter, if I already had 10 cobble in here, and then I asked for another 10 cobble, I'd lose 10 cobble here, but it just completely disappear. Like it would magically disappear into some random magical void in the world somewhere, and it would no longer exist. So that's why you put the pipe, and that just removes that error. It just pipes along and everyone's happy. So I'm not really sure what that is. I think it might be a bug. I'm not 100%. But that's why there's a pipe there. So the problem with the barrel is, if you try to suck a stack, okay, let's go back to cobble for a second. You would think that if I try to suck more than 64, it's going to be a problem because, you know, a stack is 64. But there is no problem with that. Now I've got to run receive. I'm all over the place. Receive. Boom. Okay. So there should be 64 plus 36, which there is. There was already 10 in there, remember? So it sucked 100. The problem is when you do have a barrel, it didn't do that. It would only suck one stack and one stack at max. So if I type like, give me 1,000,000 dirt, 1,000, 500, anything above 64, it would still only give me 64. So that's what this extra part of the code is. Basically what I've had to do is tell the program to run again and again and again. So if I want to pull out 128, yeah, that's 2 times 64. If I wanted to pull out 128 dirt, the program would run twice and it would send me 2 stacks. So this bit up here, it's all the same as what you've seen already. Now this is an if statement, so it's only going to run if this part of the program is true. So if dirt and y is less than 64, then it's the same command as on the other side. And you can see here, these are the directions again, and y is the value. So this is the same as the other receive I down here. If it's less than 64, because like I said, up to a stack it works, there's no problems whatsoever. But if x equals dirt and y is greater than 64, greater than more than a stack, then what it has to do is it has to run a bit of extra code. Here, math floor is basically math round down to the integer below. So if I get 5.4, it's going to round to 5. If I get 5.7, it's still going to round to 5, even though in normal maths you would round that to 6. Floor is going to just round it to the lowest integer. So I'm going to take y divided by 64. So y is, remember, the number that I asked for. So if I take 100 divided by 64, it's going to give me 1 point blah blah blah, whatever. And that will round it down to 1. Now r is the remainder. I can't remember the exact name of this in program. It's something to do with modulus. I think it even might just be called modulus or something. But when you do y, that's a percent sign, but I don't know the technical term. Y, well, I'm going to call it percent sign 64. I have a friend who does coding. If he sees this, he's going to probably rage at me. It's going to take the remainder of y divided by 64. So now I have d is 1. It's like a mixed fraction. So if I have 3 over 2, that's the same as 1.5. So d is going to be 1 and r is going to be the half. Now what's going to happen here is p.extract is going to run and it's going to send me r. So it's going to send me this little bit that's left over. So it's going to send me, if there was, say I'm doing 100, right? we know that this chest, for example, it sent us 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is what it sent us when I asked for 100. It sent me 64, which is a stack, and then 36. So in this case, R is 36. So it has sent me 36. So now I have this part of my 100, but I still need to get the rest of it. And that's where this comes in. For I equals 1, this is just a little loop. So it's going to start at 1 and it's going to count up to whatever D was, because remember, D is how many more stacks I need to get to my final number. So in this case, I only need one more stack. So it's going to be for I equals 1, 1. So it's going to do the loop once and then it's going to end the program. Do P extract, send me 64. So say I wanted to get more than 64, if I wanted to get 200. Okay, let's go to this computer over here. Cobble, give me cobble. There's plenty of cobble in there already, but you know, give cobble 200. It's going to send me 64 plus 64 plus 64 plus 8. So that means if I sent it to this program, it's going to tell me D is 3 because there's 3 stacks of 64 and R is 8 because that's what was left over. So now if I run the program, have I got enough up there? Yeah, I think I do. Okay, if I do give dirt 200, it's going to work. There you can see it gave me 3 stacks of 64 and 8. So that's how you work around the barrel. You have to add the extra bit of coding that tells it to run so many times, and it gives you your information in the barrel. Now the reason I want to use the barrel is because applied energistics is in the ultimate pack. And yes, I said ultimate pack because we are now using the ultimate pack on the server. So we've got so many more mods, and I want to also combine applied energistics. But that's something I'm going to explain later down the line in another video, because we're running out of time here. I want to quickly pop over to the server and show you what I've done over the last couple of days, just a little bit of building, and then I think we'll wrap it up, because this explanation took a lot longer than I expected it would. But then again, you know, there's a lot to explain about this software. So I really hope you enjoy this software, guys. I'm going to see you on the server in a second. Okay, guys and girls, so here we are on the server. So there's my little village. As you guys remember, I showed you in the very last episode, since in episode 3, this new island that I found and where I wanted to build. So I've started to shift stuff over to the portal, and I've built this little place, which I'm quite proud of because I suck at building, and yet somehow I've made it look pretty decent in my opinion. So yeah, this is going to be the main headquarters of base. Look, there's even a little H at the door. See, clever, isn't it? That was purely by accident. It's just I was building stuff and it was pure stone brick, and I knew that was way too dull. So I just wanted to experiment, and I'm really happy with how these corners came out. That just was sheer luck. Now, the first thing you may notice is I'm sort of just running around quite fast, and that's because I got these boots of traveler, or RZ's joggers as I've called them. And what they allow you to do, they're a Thorncraft item. I've been doing a fair bit of research, and they have a few bonuses. Firstly is if you drop, your fall damage is reduced by half, I believe. And as you can see, I've also got feather falling on them. So while I may not be perfectly safe like with long fall boots, nothing, you know, it's going to take a ridiculously big jump for me to die by accidentally falling off my jetpack. So that's why these things are good, and they give you the speed boost, as you can see. Plus I have the haste enchant, which makes them even faster. So this is my walking speed now. That's just walking. And they also have repair too, which means, as you can see, they're not damaged. They auto repair themselves over time. So these things are never going to run out. Now they also have one other nifty feature, and that is if you have a 1 high block, you can just walk right up it. Boom. I have a 1 high block, I can walk up. So that just makes running around and stuff really fast and really fun. So say if I go over here, I've got, you know, 2, 3 blocks in a row. Boom, boom, boom. You can just run it up. So that makes running around a lot easier, exploring and traveling a lot easier. So that's one thing I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of enchanting and just playing around with that. Now in this building, it's not quite complete, as you can see. I sort of ran out of these crystals. I've got more back at, you know, the base near town, but I haven't obviously shipped everything over yet. So I don't know what I'm going to put in this main room yet. I haven't really decided. And this room is also up for debate, but I do have some ideas for what I'm going to put in there. But if you have any suggestions of what I could put in here, you know, maybe, because it's kind of dull, or maybe I could just leave it open like this and just let it be the entry into the 3 sub rooms. But let me know some suggestions if you have some ideas. Over here I plan to put like all my tables and project tables and that. Whoops. Put the torch back. And I got my bed and just a temporary chest with some stuff. I plan to use the lights, the lamps from Red Power, and put them in the floor because they look a lot better than torches. These are just temporary lighting. And over here what I've got set up is all my thermal craft machines and the industrial craft machines I have so far. So here I've got a crucible, I've got one of most of them, but not all of them because there's a couple I didn't really want. I haven't shown you guys the crucible and the transposer before, but I'll show you that in another episode when they're actually going to be needed because I don't really need them now. And this setup here for power, this is not permanent either. This is just temporary with the buildcraft pipes until I get a way to set up them with some other bits and pieces of machinery and wiring and stuff. All fancy stuff I'm going to show you down the line, but I don't yet have the machines necessary to actually make what I need to make. So say for example, one thing I'm going to need is a plate rolling machine, plate bending machine, and I can make that, but I need the plate bending machine to make other stuff, which makes other stuff, which helps me do this, and so on and so forth. That's the beauty of this mod pack, I guess. You know, just one thing leads to the next. So originally I had a plan to build something else this episode, but we are out of time for today, guys. So as always, I hope you enjoyed the episode. You know, leave any comments, feedback, suggestions in the comment section down below. Please leave the video a like or any of you enjoyed, and as always, have a good day, and I will see you all later.